the theme park capital of the world, bringing you the latest in theme park news. Welcome to the ThrillGeek podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the ThrillGeek podcast. I am Clint.
Epic.
I am Epic.
I'm Janine. I'm toothless.
You're toothless?
I'm toothless.
That's what we should have done. We should all came up with like epic names for us. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. We are going to be once again filling your ear holes with nothing but epic universe.
We promise we'll shut up after this.
Yes, we promise. This will be mostly it for the time being with Epic Universe. Janine was at opening day, so she's going to talk opening day. Barry and I were obviously at the grand opening celebration media event, so we're going to talk about that. And that's pretty much it. And then probably after this, we'll get back to a more regularly scheduled podcast. So Barry and I, we were at the 3-day media blitz for Epic Universe, which was I don't think I've recovered fully from this thing yet.
The time.
Yeah,
That was so much heat that I would never normally go out in.
Yeah, for those of you, all three of us, we live in Florida, okay? And this heat, these last couple, weeks or so?
It's been really.
This has been like August heat.
Oh, it was like 107 feels like the other day, and like 94. And it's like, again, we live in Florida. We can't really complain.
The first day of the full day of the media event at Epic, where Clint and I did Berk and Super Nintendo World, they basically had us in 3 hours in one land, hour and a half lunch Celestial, 3 hours in the other land. I drank about over 10 bottles of water / some with liquid IV pouches in them in one day, just during that part of the day.
Yeah.
On top of the probably, I think, 4 other bottles of water I had that evening.
Well, yeah. On opening day, as you were going into like whichever was the portal that you picked to be your first of the day, basically, they were handing out water bottles, which was nice because I definitely could have drank more to opening day because it was so warm.
But we started, the media event actually started on Monday. We had a short little trip to Helios Grand Hotel. Mark Woodbury, a couple people that I can't remember off the top of my head from Lowe's Hotel. I think the president of Lowe's Hotels was there. I don't have...
President and chairman of Lowe's Hotel, of course.
And then...
president, too.
Yeah, what's her name? The president of Universal Orlando Resort. I'm sorry, I'm unprepared for this. That was Monday night, and then they took us over to Universal Studios in IOA for like a very short, very interesting VIP tour. It was like and dinner, yeah.
It was neat to get. I mean, we got to ride Velocicoaster, we got to ride Hagrid without waiting, and a couple other things. And I think Clint and I then bailed.
Yeah, they were going to do they were going to do a couple more things like Spider-Man and something else, but we pretty much did Gringotts, hopped on Hogwarts Express, did Hagrid's, and did Velocicoaster, and then we came back for the food. The food wasn't ready, so we went and did Spider-Man. It was a cool quick little VIP tour, kind of showing off the highlights of the OG 2 parks. But yeah, that was Monday, and then Tuesday, as Barry said, was our first full day for the media event. We had first thing in the morning was How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk, so we're starting off the media event strong.
Our alarm was set for 6:15 a.m.
Yeah.
Because we had to hop on a bus by 6:45 to be over the media center to have breakfast at the media center. The media center was the nicest thing I've ever seen Universal do. It was a huge tent.
And like I said, the air condition was
when we got there in the morning, it was freezing in there.
My stomach was going 1,000 miles an hour, so I think I barely ate. I was so excited, I was ready to go.
Well, they also had Uncrustables, and Clint, I think, over 2 days ate about 10 Uncrustables.
Listen.
Were they the frozen ones, or were they like just normal?
They were frozen because they were thawed out.
They were thawed out.
they were thawed, but you could tell they were frozen. In the media center, I'm going to go off on a tangent real quick before we get to Berk again. In the media center, okay, I felt like a 12-year-old kid again, okay? They had Uncrustables and they had fruit roll-ups.
Oh, fruit roll-ups.
I was like, Universal, this is the greatest, I've been to other media events where they have the media center snacks, it's usually like chips and soda. I was like...
They had that too.
They had that too, but Uncrustables and fruit roll-ups, I was like...
and Pop-Tarts.
And Pop-Tarts?
Like a bunch of little kids.
And not only did they have Pop-Tarts.
Exactly.
They had frosted strawberry and then, of course...
S'mores.
S'mores. Like
the s'mores Pop-Tart.
The s'mores Pop-Tart, which is literally like sugar.
I have those in my pantry.
They are like
the
most sugar-filled
so
Pop-Tarts ever. Big thing was before we entered each land, there was a huge opening ceremony with one of the Celestial Park storytellers. Gave us a little spiel about each land, each land, and then opening the portal. Hiccup, Astrid, Tough Nut, Rough Nut, one of the Astrid's dragon, Gobber, and a bunch of other team members all came out, and Hiccup made a speech and opened the portal with fireworks and everything. We weren't in the best spot for that one. We learned our lessons for the next 3.
Well, yeah, the funny thing is nobody knew like they were going to do these opening moment bits. Yeah. I mean, I think there was some chatter that they were going to do some little opening ceremony things, but they sent us in, and we had 3 hours. Our main focus was obviously filming the video for the YouTube channel, which we had a lot of fun with.
We went in with a plan that we were going to concentrate on the characters, which is what Berk is known for, and concentrate on food, just the experiences. I think we've all are 3 in agreement. It is our favorite land.
Yeah, feels the most complete.
It feels the most complete. It feels the most alive, day and night. We'll get back to that later. But the fact that they keep the characters out from morning all the way up till like half an hour before close.
Yes, I've seen Astrid at night twice now, just meandering, and I'm like, it's so cool because like she blends in too with like everyone else. You're like, oh, there's
Astrid.
There's characters, there's energy, but. I do have to give you guys some shade, though, about your Isle of Berk experiences.
Okay. Some shade? Uh-oh.
You guys still haven't done fire drill.
Oh, no. I didn't want to get wet with a bunch of phones and camera equipment we had to carry around all day.
Listen, I'm getting old.
All day.
Water rides have, like, dropped on my priority list of theme parks to do.
Because I've been forced on that ride so many times.
Yeah. I'll get on it eventually. For some reason, it just hasn't piqued my interest at all. We do love Hiccup's wing gliders.
One of the most fun attractions in the entire park. I think the interesting thing we learned in, not in the interview that we did, but in an interview following ours with Kate, who was the lead for Isle of Berk.
She was great. She was fun to talk to. She was great.
The composer of the How to Train Your Dragon.
John Powell.
They worked with John Powell.
Get on it, Barry. Come on.
Normally I remember his name, but they worked with John Powell. He arranged all the music in that land. There's, I guess versions with just mandolin and stuff. He did all that. And then the biggest thing with wing gliders is the reason Test Drive works so well on that is he arranged it specifically for the attraction. Yeah. So that's why Test Drive is it's obviously would be, to me, the only piece of music you could use on there, but the fact that it crescendos and everything so perfectly with the coasters, because he literally arranged Test Drive just for that attraction. So that's how much love and care was put into this land, is getting the composer of the films to come in and arrange new arrangements of the music on new instruments for the land, just specifically for the land and the attractions.
Every time we've recorded a video since we've ridden Hiccup's wing gliders, I've made it a thing to mention to listen to the music while you're on Hiccup's wing gliders, because Janine, I'm sure you can agree, it makes it so much more.
I teared up the first time
when that song kicks on and you leave the station. Like, you get goosebumps every single time.
Oh, and just like the whole. You leave the station. My favorite part is when they sync the trains the right way, that you see the other train going as you're leaving the station before you turn around, you go and see Hiccup and Toothless. And it's just so fun. Like, I know I had high expectations for it, just obviously dragons. But then actually going on it, it's easily one of my favorite things in the park. And it's something that I would gravitate toward. I've said this to people and they're like, really? I was like, I would go on that over Ministry, over Stardust, over anything in Nintendo. Day in and day out. I'd rather wait for that than anything else.
And at night.
It's so good.
Yeah, we finally got a ride on it at night during the media preview, which was amazing.
I know most of this podcast is going to be spoilers, but but the moment before the first launch is one of my favorite.
Barry, that's not a spoiler anymore.
It's
okay.
on YouTube.
Just talk about it.
When Toothless hits the launch button, it is one of my favorite moments in the entire park.
I scream at him every time, and it's like I feel like a child.
Some quick other tidbits. We tried the mac and cheese cone, which was at like 9:30 in the morning, which was.
It's good.
You see me in the video. I'm eating a mac and cheese cone at like 9:30 in the morning. I was like, this is a wonderful post-breakfast breakfast.
I mean, the thing that makes it next level is that the cone is actually good. Like, it is edible because
it's got seasoning on the bread.
The cozy cones at Cars Land suck.
Yeah,
they are not edible.
Yeah,
that cone is edible. The only thing I wish, I don't know, was because what they were doing. I would want more barbecue in it.
It's almost like an everything bagel almost. It's got like seeds on it, and it's just seasoned, and it was really good. I actually really liked it.
And I had the shrimp bowl at Spitfire Grill, and I can see why everyone raves about the bowls there. So much seasoning, that and the shrimp bowl has a kick.
Yeah, all the food's really good.
And then of course the drink, the freestyle.
Oh yeah, was it Dragon Blast? Is it called
the green lime Sprite?
Yeah,
that's basically what it is.
It's like Ecto Cooler. I got a slight Ecto Cooler vibe from it. So, but yeah,
very lime, just a spice, green colored Sprite with a lot of lime.
It was actually pretty good. I actually liked it. A lot of those
it was good
specialty freestyle drinks they do just taste like
sugar.
Syrupy, just like 5 flavors just meshed together. The dragon one was actually pretty good. I was shocked. I actually enjoyed it. Then we had lunch, and where did we eat lunch that day? I forgot. Was that
we had lunch at the Atlantic? You had the slider version of the burger there.
The slider that I had was really good. I forgot, what did you have?
I think it was the risotto. It was good. We like I said, we didn't eat a lot of food. Because we just weren't hungry.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we had Super Nintendo World, and like once again, like every single portal you go through, the view as you walk in is jaw dropping. Super Nintendo World is kinetic energy on a level you've never seen before. Some people will definitely get overwhelmed. It's too much. It's definitely some. If you have any sensory issues, please wear headphones or earplugs.
It's loud.
It is loud. It is just sensory overload. Before we get more into, like, Clint and I are running around, we're doing our thing, we're punching our blocks and power bands. We get to, I think, maybe half an hour in, and we go to film something like reverse POV, and I just
Barry just like went, it's like turned off.
I like a switch turned off.
Like I was
supposed to say something, and nothing came out.
I was like, "You good, Barry?"
And then we had a bunch of the stuff from Yoshi's. Got our sugar rush going, and we were back at it again.
Have you had either of the smoothies, Janine, from the?
I did. I had the one that actually looks like Yoshi.
The apple melon one.
Yeah, the apple one, and it's good. It's sweet. Like again, opening day was ridiculously hot, just like the media preview was. And I think I drank like 4 sips of it, and then handed it to my friend. And then we walked over to meet people at Stardust, and he's sitting there in a Toad chef hat that's made for children.
Yeah.
But
sitting there drinking it, and it's like, this is a terrible choice. We got the calzone also, which was quite good, but
it's a hot pocket.
Yeah.
It's literally a glorified hot pocket.
I mean, I tried the vegan one since they were just giving them out, and it's a vegan hot pocket. The apple melon is super sweet. The mango though is like perfection.
Yeah, we really like the mango one.
Chunks,
I wanted to try it.
I pretty much stole it from him.
Yeah, I was told it doesn't look like the actual Yoshi coloring, so you should get the one that looks like Yoshi. And I have
to get the mango.
Yeah.
If you're looking at one of the smoothies, I think the mango one is the way to go. It's got real mango, and it didn't taste like artificial mango. Like it actually tasted like mango, which was nice
because it had actual bits of mango.
It had I don't know if it was because it had actual bits of mango in it, but I think that helped. But it didn't have that. I know what artificial mango tastes like, and it didn't have that
sickeningly, grossly sweet.
Yeah,
really good fresh mango taste.
It was really good. I really liked it.
It's something I would definitely get again.
It was nice to be able to explore, and this was the first time that I had done a lot of the mini games and stuff. And they're a lot of fun. They're exhausting. I was like you could ask Barry, like, I think we did, we were doing the ones to get the, 3 keys to do the Bowser Jr. challenge. About like halfway through, I was like, this is exhausting.
It is.
Especially if you only have like a small group of people, like it's almost impossible to do it with one person.
We did the alarm
clock one where you have to turn the alarm clocks off. I was like,
you'll see it in the video because we set up the camera so we could see just us running from alarm to alarm to alarm.
I think that's the one that did me in. I got done with that one and I was like,
that was, and like, I mean, and there's the hidden one where you have the screens. Which I love that. I love that. One of the things I do love about Super Nintendo World is like its discovery. You're walking around, you're stumbling upon things. Not everything is always really. I mean, you can look on the app if you want to find things, but it's.
I think it's more fun to just explore. Yeah,
explore, and 3 keys. You get to go into Bowser Jr.'s challenge, which
that was a lot of fun.
For all intents purposes, it is the unannounced 4th attraction in that land.
I had a blast doing it. I was like, okay. I kept kind of spoiler free with the Bowser Jr. challenge. I didn't know what it was, and I did it. I was like, this was a lot of fun. I actually really, really enjoyed it.
I know people are gonna hate it. We got to walk the entire queue of Minecart Madness by ourselves, practically, with no wait.
Yeah, that was a nice thing because we waited until the end to do Minecart Madness. I think that was the right thing because we walked right on.
Everyone ran to Minecart Madness.
Yeah.
And we waited till like the last 20 minutes to do that and Mario Kart, and we literally walked the entire queue practically by ourselves.
And Minecart is slow loading, not great capacity hog. So even though it's like a continuous circuit, like if they have to stop for a bit.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing with the queue, and I didn't figure this out until later, there's part of the queue where it gives you the illusion that you're actually like outdoors but the air conditioning is running. I finally figured out it's because there's where you think is like just open to the outdoors is actually windows that you can't see. Because we were all like, why are they're running AC in this? This is great.
Oh, yeah. I remember what you're talking about.
It's a smart little illusion to give you the illusion that you're still sort of like outdoors in Donkey Kong country.
You're in the jungle, baby. Welcome to the jungle.
We rode Mario Kart and
thank you for laughing, Janine. I'm glad you're
here.
And I've been one from day one. I love Mario Kart. It is and the biggest thing, and I think Clint's sort of started to see this out, is the rewritability of that attraction.
Yeah.
The first time I rode during their media preview, I was overwhelmed and confused, and I was like, what the heck did I just do? I thought it was really cool, but I was really confused, and I didn't know what I was doing. And then the second time, I did a little bit better when I went with the family, and then for the media, for the grand opening, it really grew on me. And I think that ride, I think a lot of people, I think if you really want to get the vibe for that ride and really enjoy it, you have to ride it 3, 4, 5 times.
At least. Yeah. The first time I went on it, I was so completely overwhelmed of just like figuring out how to do the game that I didn't realize how big the set pieces were, how cool everything was. The second time I went on it, I barely played, so I could stare at stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I did. Now I feel like I've got like a better like overall like vibe of it and made the ride experience so much better.
The sets are huge.
They're huge.
That's what I love about the attraction is it feels like you're in the game. And that's what I love about it. I think the only negative I can say about it, and I mean I guess it's something they're still working on, is the power-up bands not syncing up. I've yet to ride it where my power-up bands synced up, which went and did it in Hollywood, had no issues with that whatsoever. So I don't know if that's something they're still having some problems with, is getting the power. Because that's the whole point, is you sync up your power band, so it adds to your points.
It was great hanging out in Super Nintendo World. Like I said, I think the most fun part of that part of the day for me was just experiencing the mini games and the Bowser Jr. challenge and really being able to check that out. That was day 1. Day 2 was what? We started off in the morning again, everybody running over to Dark Universe.
We got a very good spot for that.
Yeah, we got a really good spot for the Dark Universe opening, which was probably the best grand opening bit out of all of them next to dragons.
Yes.
You got to see
Despite
Victoria
our video views,
Yeah.
it was the best one.
Victoria coming out was obviously the highlight. Getting a face character of Victoria Frankenstein.
Unreal.
That was. You
one
could ask Barry. I was on him like flies on. You know what about getting that post?
They literally the monsters literally cleared back around the corner, and he was like, edit that down to like Victoria coming out.
I was like, Barry, get that video live because it's Victoria and everybody's gonna want to see her. So, but yeah, no, the grand opening bit with Bride, Frankenstein monster. They had Invisible Man out there. They had Igor out there, and then Victoria. And Victoria basically did like a weird version of her animatronic self in the Monsters Unchained attraction.
It's cool though.
It was cool. She did really great. She was fantastic. And then they opened up the land, and obviously everybody bum rushed Monsters Unchained. No, Barry and I did not. This was another land where we had a really fun idea for a really fun video, and we really wanted to do this kind of unsolved mysteries. One of the coolest things about Dark Universe is the lore. There's so much lore in this land. Barry and I kind of pumped the brakes on the experiences and the rides, and we focused so much on this video of exploring the backstory, the characters.
How do we start this? What angle do we use with this?
We didn't have Janine there. We needed Janine's.
We're always
gears.
Goofy,
I pop up from the grave though.
Yes, look for Janine's cameo in our Dark Universe video. It's pretty hilarious.
But I think we were originally like, oh wait, we'll do a serious intro and then we'll just go over there. Then it became, no, we have to keep a straight face.
Yeah,
be serious the entire time, because I think there was one other time we tried to film something, and I don't know if you started to get a little goofy, and I was like, no, it's got to be. We cannot break character the entire time. We've got to be. And that became, we just basically started talking to the characters about, and like, we knew from videos and everything what things triggered the different characters, and
especially Bride of Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monster. When we did that meet and greet, we knew what set off what set off Bride. That part was really cool. That was the first time I had met them. I think it was your first time.
That
too,
was
Barry,
both
right?
our first time. And the story and with that, for me, I refer to her as number one Bride because she's the one I feel like we've all seen the most videos, and she seems to be the one they use for media and everything.
Yeah.
And she is perfection.
Yeah.
Like, everything from the makeup to the costumes, her mannerisms, her answers, the way she talks, the way she treats her friend, because he's not Frank, he's her friend. Is just like something I have never seen in a meet and greet ever. So I'm trying to be serious and ask her about Victoria and stuff. And at the same time, I am like, don't cry. Don't cry. Don't cry. Don't start crying. Because like, this is my first time, and it's such a visceral meet and greet. It's for those of us who love the Universal monsters, those of us who, especially us HHN people, who this all began with The Bride of Frankenstein Lives.
Yeah.
And how they brought the bride to a new level. Now this is a different bride, but she is also independent, on her own, she's been around for over 150 years. She's over 150 years old. She has a very older sister, younger brother relationship with her friend. When we go into the lore, he keeps sneaking out of the manor to see her, and she is trying to teach him new things and hoping that maybe he will not go back to Victoria again, but he, because Victoria created him, he's drawn back to Victoria. The lore in that land, which we talked to Patrick Braillard with Universal Creative, who he wrote a lot of the book for that.
You mean our
land.
Darkmoor historian?
Yes, our Darkmoor historian. Eventually we'll post that full interview because it's one of the most informative interviews I don't know if anyone's done about the backstory of Darkmoor and everything.
I think I got 90% of it in our video.
Yeah, most of it's in the video, but it's just the depth that they went to with the backstory of everything and the history.
And we didn't even get to everything. There's a whole there's a war that happened within Dark Universe, within Darkmoor, and There's
and
just
and the purpose, vagueness of Victoria. Is she really a Frankenstein?
Yeah.
Is she just a usurper who knew the story of Frankenstein Manor and what was it, Henry? She, and she's been there for 10 years, slowly capturing the monsters. This is another land where the characters bring it to life. The monster hunters that are in Burning Blade, the one we had was amazing. Just amazing, and we basically everything leads to Frankenstein Manor. And we didn't just make this up for our video. This is when you talk to the characters, when you talk to the monster hunters, you talk to Igor, you talk to the bride. Even if you butter up the Invisible Man, he'll talk. We did not, so he sort of brushed me off. But we've learned since, like, you butter him up, he'll start talking about Victoria and other things. But you gotta go up to him and be nice. Well, praise him, give him praise, and he'll start talking. As we played it straight in the video, we barely made it out alive. If it wasn't for the bride's friend, we would be dead. And that's sort of the lore. That's sort of the story.
Barry's moment in the video where he says, like, we made it out. He was like,
we almost died.
We almost died there or something. I tried
seriously.
I almost lost it because I have. It was one of those moments where it was
Yes,
it was
I will
funny.
say, please watch the video. It's one of probably the favorite things we've ever.
It was a
done.
lot of fun to film. But yeah,
a lot of fun. It was very hard to play straight the entire time.
It was really fun. But Monsters Unchained, once again, I think is, we say Isla Berk is the best land in Epic Universe. Monsters Unchained is the best attraction.
It's the best attraction.
Period.
In Dark Universe.
And they're still tweaking things.
Yeah.
They're still tweaking it. We get held in the queue for a second because they're letting a VIP go through. And the VIP goes through. And
what goes through?
The VIP goes through in front of us. And then I noticed the tattoos and the red hair under a hat. And I was like, holy crap, that's Danny Elfman, who, if you don't know, composed the entire soundtrack and score for Dark Universe. We're right behind Danny Elfman in the next car to him, riding the attraction. And then we got off and we got to have a brief moment and actually say hi to him and thank him. It was a very cool moment to be like.
Yeah, it was very brief, very quick. He was by the lockers and I just walked up and I said, Danny, huge fans. I was like, thank you for I forgot what I said because I was kind of like, I was nerding out
for the soundtrack for the land and so many other moments, like movie moments that you've done over the years.
And that was pretty much it.
Even like I was a huge fan of Oingo Boingo when I was younger. So it's like, and, you want to talk about the soundtrack to Halloween events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That ride just continues to blow me away every single time I ride it. It's just the experience, the immersiveness of it, the animatronics.
How close you get to everything.
That ride just leaves me grinning from ear to ear every time I get off it, and I
get off it. I'm just like, I want to go on it again.
Yeah.
Just the program, how close you get to some of the set pieces, but going under a set piece that is over the actual track is just. I don't know if anyone's done anything like that before. It's just mind blowing.
That was our time in Dark Universe. We had lots of fun filming that video. Please go check it out. We had a lot of fun filming it. I had a lot of fun editing it. Patrick was fantastic in the video, interviewing him and everything. And that was pretty much our 3 hours in Dark Universe was filming that video. And then we left. We had lunch at the Blue Dragon, which was really good. They had during our lunch times, like the one at Atlantic and the one at Blue Dragon, they had kind of like sample sizes of just a few things for us to choose from.
I believe there was the pork soup dumplings, the shrimp shumai dumplings, which Asian restaurant in a theme park with hand rolled dumplings. If you've ever had hand rolled dumplings compared to the stuff you buy frozen from the store, it is a completely different experience.
What was that one thing that I had was like insanely spicy?
King Ming's Mapu tofu.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Sichuan chili crisp sauce, which was
so good though.
It was good, but it has a kick.
Oh my god, it was spicy.
It had a kick to it. I was like, water.
The chicken cow soy which is basically a Thai coconut curry broth, grilled chicken, crispy egg noodles, green papaya salad Thai. That was pretty good, but that had to be the spiciest vegan dish I have ever had anywhere at a theme park.
Yeah.
And then we had the grand opening. The final thing we got was Wizarding World Ministry of Magic, aka Paris.
Potter.
And, it was a nice, cute opening. Of course, had to have some Potter actors come out, and
I nailed it. I said it 2 days
Davis.
before. I said Weasley twins. Watch.
Yes, Warwick Davis.
Weasley twins.
And the twins came out.
It was really cool to see Warwick Davis, though. That was the highlight for me.
Yeah, that's for us nerdy Potter, Star Wars.
Yeah, that was the highlight for me.
That was the highlight. What is there to say we haven't already said about Wizarding World Paris? I mean, like every other land, you walk in and it is jaw-dropping when you go through those arches. I mean,
it actually, I've said to so many people, it legitimately looks and feels like Paris. Down to the dirt and the grime around the subway entrance.
Yeah.
It feels so reminiscent of going through that city. It's glorious.
Yeah, you're not the only one. Everyone, I think we've known who's been to Paris is just blown away. With
it's so realistic, scale-wise, too.
How realistic. To the point that we ran into Disney Imagineering legend Tony Baxter and got to have a nice little conversation with him. Speaking of someone who lived in Paris for 5 years while it's at the time what Disneyland Paris was being built and
Euro Disney.
Sorry, Euro Disney
at that time.
He went into total like Imagineering mode and was just like blown away talking about just the scale of it and how they nailed so many things. But it was to hear like him, he was there just as a guest. And that was another thing was really, he said he loved just being there as a guest and enjoying getting to experience it. And clearly, I mean, he was definitely blown away by what he saw at the park.
It was really cool meeting Tony. And like you said, he went into like full, like blown Imagineering mode. And it was a cool little moment. And, but yeah, we really don't have to spend too much time on Wizarding World Paris. The scale is unbelievable. The detail. We did ride Ministry of Magic again, or Battle at the Ministry, I should say. I say it's so hard when I ride Monsters Unchained and then I go and ride Ministry, because I say both of them blow my mind, but they blow my mind for completely
totally
different reasons. And it's so hard. I know, Bear, you've used a good analogy of the cinematic experience that is Ministry, and Monsters Unchained being more like you're in the movie. You're part of it.
You're in the action. You're part of the action.
Yeah,
Ministry, you're watching it unfold before you.
Yeah.
The lift is reacting to what is going on in front of you, where in Monsters, you're
immersed in it.
You're immersed.
Janine, you got on Ministry, right?
I have, yeah.
So what? Because I think the last time we recorded for the our initial Epic Universe, I don't think you had ridden it yet. So what are your thoughts on Battle at the Ministry?
I think it's fine. It's a hot take. I'm not the biggest Potter fan. I understand.
You can be honest.
I think it's a cool ride.
Yeah.
It is the first time I've gotten significantly motion sick on a ride in a while. And I think it's because of like and again, it doesn't make a massive drop, but just like the visuals and everything all together. The animatronics are really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, the one Umbridge, unfortunately, when I was riding, like the lights came on and like everything was working and functional. She was just like a little bit off in like the one like time room.
Yeah.
He was like doing like this wobble thing. I was like, oh no. But the scale of it and like everyone said, the Death Eater is just like, what the heck?
Yeah, that Death Eater scene is just unreal.
Again, though, like not being like the biggest like Harry Potter fan, and like for people who don't know Harry Potter as well, I feel like Forbidden Journey and Hagrid's and Gringotts, even like a little bit of a degree, like you don't need as much like background knowledge of Potter. I feel like you need a little bit of background knowledge of certain things Potter, because you go and you're like, oh, okay, you're going into like the all the Fantastic Beasts and this, that, and the other, but it's like for me, I'm like, oh, big thing. But then my friend's like, no, that's like that's this name of this creature. I was like, well, that's cool. I don't know the backstory as well, but
that's a good point. I don't think
I don't know everything, but I think the biggest thing is you at least need to know like the ending, Deathly Hallows and all that, how that ended, and so I mean, because it basically picks up after that.
It does, and like. It's a really, really cool ride. If you gave me a choice of that over Hiccups, I'd pick Hiccups. If you gave me of that versus Monsters all day. But it's incredible technologically, and the animatronics in it are great. I just think for me, maybe I just need to take Dramamine and hope for the best. The next time, I was genuinely shocked.
I know that drop part has changed.
Yeah.
Right now.
I was so shocked though that I didn't feel well afterwards, but like it was a consensus of the people that I was with that they're like, yeah, I feel like a little bit off too, but it's really cool.
I think, and as much as we talk about like they're still adding things to Monsters. Some of the best screens, I've said this before, some of the best screens I've ever seen in an attraction ever.
It blends together well.
CGI in an attraction I have ever seen anywhere.
Yeah.
The Death Eater animatronics are easily the most lifelike animatronics I've ever seen. And like we've discussed before, some of that probably has to do with the fact that they're wearing a mask. So there's no uncanny valley feel to them.
Yeah.
You swear to God that could be a person standing there.
I thought it was the first time I rode. I was like, "Is that an actor?"
I mean, the main area where the battle is taking place, and that first section of the ride is one of the most gigantic sets. I think we've said maybe one of the biggest sets ever created for an attraction. It is huge.
From when Hermione teleports in and she starts fighting the Death Eaters.
It is insane.
Genuinely massive.
It is truly like one of the most jaw-dropping moments of any attraction I've ever experienced. What they sort of said that they were going to do, on top of creating maybe the most amazing queue ever created.
The queue is my favorite part of the whole experience.
And that's one thing like we really got to explore. I mean, just the fact that we got to experience. They took out all the stanchions in the and when you go through the Metro Flu. We'll never get to experience Clint and I. Never get to experience anything like that again, where you can just be able to walk up into the ministry, the main area of the ministry. Just to even the fact the way you load on this attraction is unlike any other attraction anyone's ever seen before. It's wild. The interactive wand thing on a whole new level. Obviously they've upped the interactivity with the wands, but there's so many in Paris. It's crazy.
Yeah, Barry and I in our filming our video, we were like, oh, let's do some of the wand things, and we did one. We did another one. We did another one. We did another one. I was like, how many are there in
There's a lot.
Paris? There's a lot. So
on top of the detail in all the windows of the shops or the places in Paris, is nuts. The jazz band, Cosme Actor walk around character. We didn't get to see the Aurora while we're there. There's an Aurora walk around character. The students are so fun to interact.
I saw a few students opening day,
and that to me is once again what has made Epic Universe so amazing is the walk around characters, the interaction that you get. On top of we didn't really talk about it with Berk because we didn't see it, we didn't go see it, but like both shows in this park are two of the best theme park shows ever created anywhere, and are technological marvels. Like stuff you would only see maybe on Broadway, and then the other show. I don't know if anyone's done anything like the Cirque Arcane show that is has one of the most jaw-dropping
Cirque Arcanu.
Sorry, sir.
Come on, Mister. Where's your French? Like,
but
Arcanu,
like we said before,
is French.
That show has one of the most jaw-dropping moments of any show.
Did you see that? Have you seen the Cirque show? Did you? You did?
I did. It sat in the front row too, and the entire.
I think that was. I think that was the other thing that you didn't see it during our recording for the preview. So
I just sat there staring into space of just like, what?
When that stage starts to lift up,
you're like, what? How?
it is the one thing I hope, like, as we take people there, that they do not find out about. Because I just want to see the look on their faces when that thing.
It shocks me. A lot of people talk about the untrainable dragon a lot, but Cirque, I think it's one of the hidden gems of Epic Universe, because not a lot of people, given a lot of people haven't been able to see it because they've had a lot of technical issues with that show. But it shocks me how under the radar this show has gone since this park has opened, because it is phenomenal. Even if you're not a Potter fan, even if you're not a Fantastic Beasts fan,
you have to see it.
Well, same thing with Untrainable Dragon. I will do my best, and when I bring anybody there, not to spoil the moment, because that is like I mean, the first time I think all three of us saw that, like as soon as you know who comes out,
Barry, I'm not going to spoil it, but who comes out.
Honestly,
I'm just saying. I didn't say the way they come out, but I'm just saying it's one of the coolest reveals in like a show I've ever seen.
I think I may like Cirque better than Untrainable, just because the technology, it's unreal. I was like, what the hell is going on? Like the entire.
I think I agree with you.
Yeah, the entire time I was like, what is happening?
Cirque is a little bit more adult.
It definitely is
than Untrainable Dragon.
Yeah, it definitely is.
I mean, there's definitely some crazier shows in Europe and obviously in Asia that are like technologically are nuts. But this for just being a theme park show, I mean, they are the two. To me, they're the two best shows in Orlando now.
They're really good.
It makes, to me, not to compare apples to oranges, but it makes some of the other shows in Orlando look very sad and dated.
We tried the Butterbeer Crepe, which was amazing. Finally, sugar overload, unlike everything else, butterbeer in the park.
Thank you.
It definitely should be a shareable.
I
cannot imagine trying to eat a whole one of those.
I've tried the butterbeer cream puff that they came out with for butterbeer season. The Butterbeer Crepe is definitely up there with just how sweet and how sugary it is. It's good. It's really good, but you could easily share one, probably.
And the funny thing is, we totally blanked and did not go in the cafe. They did have Le Goblet Noir open for us to look, and that blew us away. Like 6 different rooms. That restaurant
goes on forever.
With 6 different dining rooms.
The food is the best food in Potter. I will swear, on any of the Potter lands, I will swear by that.
It looked amazing.
It is the best by far.
The food looked amazing. Last but not least, Celestial Park. We only got lunchtime in there.
Yeah,
and
we didn't even do Stardust.
We didn't get to do Stardust.
Nope.
And I don't know how much more we want to talk about Celestial, because I think we've said our piece in a previous podcast about just our things we love about Celestial and the things we think are massively lacking with Celestial Park. As someone who was lucky enough the other night to get to see the fountain show that happens nightly now,
it's really cool.
From Helios, it's amazing. It actually, we'll get to that. It actually is made up. Most of the grand opening show we saw is that fountain show, minus the fireworks and the drones. Why, if you ever get a chance and are at Bar Helios one night, around about 10 minutes before, is it at close or 10 minutes before close? See the show. Try to see the show from up in Helios, because especially when you get to the Nintendo section, it is absolutely nuts. No park's ever done anything like this before, where there's a fully integrated lighting system that covers an entire land, that also includes the splash pad as part of the show. So
Astronomica.
Astronomica, if you got kids, get them in Astronomica right before close, because they will get the living crap splashed out of them, because the fountains in Astronomica go up higher than I think they do any other time during the day. So it's a really neat ending to the night at the park in Celestial Park. Let's talk grand opening celebration that happened the night before the official grand opening. Actually, I got a little emotional at one point during that, because it just to be there. I mean,
of course you did. I'm dead inside.
if you watch the end of our grand opening video, Clint and I do get emotional. I should say as emotional as Clint can get. And
I don't get emotional.
I'm sorry, Clint get about as emotional as Clint can get. Me, I almost started crying.
Clint being like, I'm thinking about dragons.
I think it boils down to
I had one mission and one mission only, because during this event, during the grand opening event, we did see Toothless. So
and he's like,
we literally left we interacted with the. By the way, they had the citizens out.
That was really cool to see the citizens of Celestial Park,
which is something we've talked about before. Just bring some back. Have them out there in the mornings. It would just welcoming people to the park. It'd be very cool.
That's basically what they were doing with us. They were like saying, welcome to Celestial Park.
While everyone else was hightailing it to Ministry of Magic, we hightailed it to Toothless.
Barry was like, where do you want to go? I was like, Berk?
Like,
Berk.
Toothless. We thought we were only going to have to wait maybe 20 minutes. It ended up being like, about 40?
Yeah.
And of course, while we're waiting, Astrid ends up showing up, and we interact with her, and then Tough Nut and Rough Nut show up, and we interact with them again.
Yeah. To the point where they recognized us.
To the point, when we saw them later, they're like, "You guys again." And
it was like, pretty funny.
They were like, "We live here. What is your excuse?" and we went to a whole bit of like, we're looking for a place. I mean, and then they started pointing at the different houses on the hill.
Yeah, they were like, you want to live there? Sure, go ahead. It was pretty funny.
What status having a house higher up on the hill? It's the best meet and greet in the park. Like I said, Bride. I mean, well, both Bride and her friend and Hiccup and Toothless are right there. Obviously, sometimes you don't get Hiccup, and that's probably the biggest issue with that meet and greet.
I've seen some people post
generic Viking.
Yeah, when the generic Viking steps in, a lot of people are like, "Boo,
generic Viking.
We want Hiccup."
That long for a meet and greet, it better be Hiccup and Embarrassment, and if not, it better be Astrid.
Astrid's a lot of fun too.
We got to see Hiccup not Hiccup. We got to see Toothless fall asleep.
Yeah.
Because Hiccup was taking too long.
Yeah.
Baby
so
boy.
he literally just starts.
It was really cute. I haven't seen him do that yet, but
falling asleep.
Toothless just like he starts to nod off.
Yeah.
It was so cute. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, it was adorable.
The only celebrity we saw was JoJo Siwa.
I'm so sorry.
Wandering by. Well, apparently we missed out because we went back to Berk at night. But apparently every celebrity went to Dark Universe.
Apparently Dark Universe was the party zone.
Like it
was with the tomahawks.
They had tomahawk steaks grilling in front of Victoria's Castle. I was like, this is so awesome and so random.
We ended up meeting the bride and her friend again for some reason. I can't remember why.
I think it was just a short wait, and we were like, why not?
We were like, why not?
Yeah.
And we didn't go into Wizarding World at all.
No, we walked into Super Nintendo World. We were like, oh, this is pretty.
Nobody was there because there was no extra food station. I guess because whatever deal with Nintendo, they didn't have any of the extra food stations there.
Yeah,
but it was neat to walk in Super Nintendo World at night because I actually like the rest of the park. I think Wizarding World Paris, to me. It looks about the same day or night. It's not, there's not that huge difference.
I don't think I've been in Paris at night yet. Every time I've been in that land is during the day.
Same.
But I think Super Nintendo World at night looks.
It's really neat.
It looks even more like a video game at night.
Yeah.
But we popped into there, and we basically then had to get our spot for the grand opening celebration, which. Somehow, even though we got blamed for like so many things, the media was the smallest contingent at this party, but we got the best spot.
To
watch the show.
I was shocked at how good our viewing, because our viewing area was. I thought they were going to throw us media people, like especially like us, like the fan sites and stuff. I thought they were going to throw us in the corner and be like, have fun. But we got like the best viewing area for the grand opening moment. It was literally right there on Celestial Park, facing Helios.
Dead center.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we could have had a better viewing
in front of the fountain
angle for the grand opening bit, which was
it was wild because and everyone had a good view because we're all on different the tier way it's tiered there, But I mean, to be there for that grand opening, fireworks, fountains, drones, and seeing drones in a way I've never seen drones before, where they were the ones that were in front of the hotel. I cannot believe how close to people and how low they were flying.
Yeah, the ones that spelled out the word epic. Yeah,
epic. People don't understand that normally does not happen anywhere, of the drones being that close, that low.
Yeah,
and the fact that they all took off from in front of the hotel, like in front of us. That's where they were all taking off from and landed from. It was one of the coolest things I've ever experienced ever, period. I mean, we know how lucky we were to be there, and we'll never get to do something like that ever again, probably.
The grand opening moment too, with Mark Woodbury talking and then him introducing Spielberg, was just, that was the moment that I was like, is this really happening? Like, I think that was the moment for me. I mean, the fireworks and the drones were all cool, but having Mark Woodbury introduce Steven Spielberg, I was like,
his voice, I feel like for like our type of generation, just hearing, whenever you hear his Spielberg's voice talking about something, you're just like, it triggers this like childlike.
Spielberg could read off the ingredients on the back of a soda can, and I would be enthralled. Yeah, it's like there's just something about his voice. You hear his voice, like every time I see it on E.T. Adventure at Universal Studios. There's just something about his voice that just, like you said, it clicks that childhood memory, and it just.
It does.
We took our merry time getting out.
Yeah, Barry and I were like, Celestial Park at night, video, ooh, pretty. Ooh.
We were walking down pathways that they were open.
Yeah.
But no one was stopping us, to the point that we were swept. As we were shooting our outro, the security was very nice, and they let us finish our thing.
Yeah, they were really nice. The Universal security people were like, "No, take your time, guys."
They were just trying to, I think, get everybody to the gift shop,
to the front area of the park,
front area.
Yeah.
Because they knew that was because people were literally laying on the blue carpet.
Yeah.
Taking pictures, just vibing. I think both of us were like just sort of overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed and tired. We had our moment,
Epic
and then
Universe,
Janine took over for us on Grand.
Janine took over.
But what's funny is I actually know somebody who is basically going to the park when you were getting back to the room from the bar, because they were there like getting in the car line, getting ready to go, and I was like,
our friend Victoria was, I think, around the time I went to bed, she was waking up.
No.
For grand opening day.
She was at Terra Nova.
Yeah.
To get there, get dressed, and be there. I think she got 5:30, 6 a.m.
Yeah, I got there at 8:00. Parked in valet, was lovely. Shout out to Premier Pass. There was nobody walking in whatsoever, and then there was a bunch of team members clapping as people went in, and we meandered around for a good bit, and then they basically put you in like holding areas to which portal you wanted to go into. Yeah. Or like see the entrance thing, and shockingly to my friend, I picked Isla Berk to see if like any dragons came out, but they basically did like daytime fireworks instead, and like they did like some audio over, and then they fireworks, opened the portals. It was a cool little opening thing. I like
some of the characters did come out.
Some did in some of the areas, but Berk didn't have any. But then after that though, we're like they ended up kind of like putting people in like the front boardwalk area at Berk. We're like, we don't feel like waiting here. So we walked over to Dark Universe, and the first thing we did of the day was curse the werewolf. Which was
That's
great.
A way to start your morning.
Wow. Super great. And then we went, we were going to go try to find somebody, and went to the carousel. We're the only people on the carousel, and we're just like, well, this is fine. And then we went back to Berk and did everything in Berk, and then we went over to Dark Universe, and then to Nintendo, and it felt like a preview day. Because there were so few people there. You could tell like certain things that they had like actually fully formally opened. Yeah, I know people who got there really early, and like getting there when we did, it was totally fine. It wasn't as much of a mad rush because the way that they kind of capped tickets.
Yeah,
they super capped it to the point like some of us who were zonked out of our mind were actually starting to get a little FOMO.
Yeah, like yeah. We waited.
And there was some media people because they released tickets the night before, and from all we know is like I think pretty much every day you can walk up to the ticket booth and buy a ticket.
You can, yeah. You still can now.
So it was $200 because there were some media people who barely got any sleep and who turned around and went into grand opening.
Not me. I was
good for them. But yeah, it was a nice day. The only thing we didn't do was Ministry because everyone bolted.
Everybody bolted
to Ministry.
Yeah.
And then Mario Kart went down right as we were about to load, and it was to the degree of we don't know when it's coming back up, so we're gonna dump the queue.
Yeah.
So we just went around and explored more in just Super Nintendo. But
did you guys eat anything that day? What'd you eat for?
What did we eat? Okay, so I know for food so the first thing I ate during the day was the PB&J cone at Isle of Berk, and then the blue icy with the coconut.
Mm-hmm.
I'm addicted to. It's really good.
Yeah.
And we sat over Fire Drill and watched people get wet.
Absolutely soaked.
It was great. Then went to Super Nintendo, met Princess Peach, ran around like idiots, bought a really stupid hat.
Yeah, you told us about that.
The dumbest hat ever, but I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure it's a child's hat.
I forgot that hat existed, and when you sent me the pictures, I was like, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's a child's hat, but it's okay. We're going with it. But then, for those who are watching it, I did eat the smoothie and the Pop-Tart calzone, but I enjoyed it.
You said Pop-Tart calzone.
Sorry, Hot Pocket. It's like almost 10:30.
I know, it's late. It's late.
And then I got some really good pictures with Princess Peach, but
Barry and I met Toad during the media preview, which was unreal. He's so much fun.
I need to meet Toad and just scream.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Toad was really cool. Yeah. It was funny. There was all this buildup of, Epic Universe's opening day is going to be a disaster. It's going to be this. It's going to be that. And ended up, from what I could tell from people posting on social media, it was actually a really fun, really chill day for everybody that was there.
I don't know how social media and marketing works in this day and age, and they kept the cap low on purpose because they wanted people to have a good time.
Yeah,
it was good
they're
reviews.
having a good time.
It was one of the best days that I've had at the park, and I've been lucky enough to go, I think 5 times now, and it was probably the best day of everything. Felt like it we did Monsters Unchained twice, and both times it felt like the most complete version of the ride. And again, I'm not gonna complain about I'm just happy to be on that ride, honestly. I understand there's been technical things every time, but I just am kind of we're still on one of literally the greatest theme park rides ever created. Let's just have fun.
And I think when it comes down to it, like we've said before, if you can wait till the fall.
That is the big issue, I would say. I know we wanted to kind of talk about our overall thoughts about the park. It's incredible. There is not enough shade, and I know that is a problem for IOA has its issues with it. A lot of the Orlando parks do. Epic in particular needs those trees to grow in very quickly because there is minimal shade, and Celestial Park is beautiful, but there are times that it just feels super barren. That I had a friend who was it kind of feels like strip mall, kind of feels like outlet vibes of just it needs to grow in on itself.
Yeah.
Then it'll be perfect. But there is a lot more foliage that they've been planting too. They weren't done planting.
They need things in Celestial Park that will stop people.
Versus it just being the walk through to get to.
Yeah, it's literally a bypass.
Or a place to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need something else. Everyone, if you look at the wait times now, has learned everyone wants to ride the carousel at night. The carousel at night becomes one of the longest waits in the entire park.
Yeah.
It's so cool at night.
The Constellation Carousel at night is one of the most magical rides I've ever seen in a park, period. Overall, it is one of the coolest parks I've ever experienced. People want to compare it to Tokyo Disney Sea. They're not the same.
They're very different.
They're very different. It is a unique design. creating basically a spine and lands coming off it, which means each land is a dead end, which goes against theme park design. Everything that gets added to this park from now on needs to be an indoor attraction, period.
It does.
Period. There are no more outdoor attractions in this park. It's clearly the biggest flaw that the park has.
Needs more dark ride, like family friendly ones too.
I cannot wait for us to have our annual passes to it's going to become like Epcot used to be, the park where I can go after I get off work, walk around, get a snack, get dinner, ride a ride, and just walk around.
I'm the same way. We've all had our Epic Universe fix, and we've all had our moments in the park, and now we're like, what do we do now?
Can I go again?
Go, please.
Can we just go, please?
Please take my money, Universal.
So, we've all discussed when annual passes will come. Nobody knows for sure. Will it be later this year? Will it be early next year? I think we'll just have to wait and see when all that comes down. But you can guarantee that when it does happen, we will be there and enjoying the park, because we all three of us absolutely love Epic Universe. As Barry's mentioned before, it's a new Universal. It's a new step up for them in so many ways. It's different. It's new. And that was the big thing with me is I had to get over it. Is it just like shiny new theme park hype for me, or is this park really this good? And now that I've been, 3-4 times, I can easily say that this park is this good, and it's unbelievable. Again, huge thank you to Universal for having Barry and I out for the 3-day preview event. It was absolutely an amazing time, something I won't soon forget, and I'm sure something Barry won't soon forget. And these moments are humbling to me. It was funny. Barry and I were wrapping up our it was the outro for the mega vlog that we were going to do.
Yeah.
We were going to combine, we're planning on combining all of our portal videos into one mega video. And I said, we were getting kind of sappy and emotional.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is it for ThrillGeek. We've peaked. So I'm shutting everything down. So this is the last podcast. I'll be shutting down the website. This is it. We've peaked. But no, this isn't the end. If you would have told me, I've lost track, however many years ago when I started ThrillGeek, that I would be there for the grand opening of Universal's new theme park, I would have told you that you're crazy.
I've been lucky enough. This is the third park I've been at the grand opening. I was at the grand opening of Legoland, Florida. I was at the grand opening of Volcano Bay, but this is something different. Like Clint said, thank you to Universal for inviting us, because it was
the whole PR
amazing.
team, everybody involved, team members, everybody. It was a special couple of days. So
the team members alone, I think we've said it in a post, but the team members made it what it was.
Yeah,
and it made that park what it is. But the team members at that park, they truly are going above and beyond to make that park as amazing as it is.
I think we can get on out of here.
Good Lord.
But thank you guys so much again for listening. We appreciate you all. And as we said, this will be kind of our wrap up of Epic stuff for now, until we feel the need to come back and talk about Epic more.
Get to go again.
Until we get to go again. Yeah. We will definitely be visiting Epic again in a future podcast episode, but look for next episode being more back to our regularly scheduled programming of news and stuff.
Disney and HHN, which we have.
We're getting into HHN season now.
We're tired again.
We've literally changed gears, and Universal. It was pretty spot on. Universal wrapped up Epic stuff, and they started teasing HHN stuff pretty much right away. So obviously, we're going to be heading into that. Make sure you guys are following ThrillGeek across all of our social media platforms. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the ThrillGeek YouTube channel. If you're listening to the podcast, this is probably the first time we have announced this, but I'll get into more details later, but we're shifting around some things with the YouTube. I'll actually make a video for it, and I'll explain it all. But make sure you're subscribed to the ThrillGeek YouTube channel. And we have all of our most of our Epic videos up there. We have the Dark Universe one, the How to Train Your Dragon one, the grand opening moment. They're all up there on the ThrillGeek YouTube channel. Barry, where can everybody follow you online?
I'm at Culture and Thrills on all social media platforms.
Janine?
At Scream Queen J9 on all the social media platforms too.
And you can follow me at IMCG83 on Twitter and Instagram if you feel like doing that. Anything else, guys? Anything else?
I think we're good.
Nope, there's more videos to come.
Yeah, like I said, I'm trying to get these videos out, and now I have a podcast episode to churn out here. So all the goodies coming your way right here at ThrillGeek. So anyway, guys, take care, be safe, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.
Bye, guys.
Have an epic day.
Bye.
Epic.